No one gets to choose where they're born. It could be a stroke of luck or a life of hardship. Some people are born in countries full of opportunities and high living standards, while others face harsh conditions that deeply affect their lives. So what truly makes a country great? Is it just stunning landscapes, abundant resources, and a strong economy? Or are there other crucial elements, like political stability and the happiness of its people? Imagine a country blessed with rich geography and natural resources, offering a sense of safety and prosperity. Such a country does exist. It's Venezuela, home to 302 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, making it the country with the largest oil reserves in the world. Venezuela is located on the northern edge of South America. It borders the Amazon rainforest to the south, Guyana to the east, Colombia to the west, and the Caribbean Sea to the north. In terms of area, Venezuela is quite large. It may look average on a South American map, but it's actually bigger than many other countries globally. The country is extremely rich in resources, especially oil, giving it a significant geographical advantage. However, despite this wealth, Venezuela is facing a severe economic crisis and struggles to export its oil to the international market. At first glance, Venezuela seems to have all the ingredients for success, but the reality is far more complex. The country is plagued by chaotic political policies and poor economic management. Even with abundant natural resources, most citizens live in poverty, struggling to meet basic needs. Hyperinflation has made the situation even worse, drastically reducing purchasing power and turning everyday life into a serious challenge for the people of Venezuela. We'll dive deeper into this issue later, but first, let's explore the capital of this frequently mentioned country. Welcome to Caracas, the capital of Venezuela, with a population of around 28 million. From above, Caracas looks stunning, but once you step onto the streets, you'll experience a completely different reality, one of chaos. Long lines of people waiting are a common sight in Venezuela. Ironically, in an oil-rich country, there's a shortage of fuel. Many people queue up at gas stations from early morning, hoping to fill up their tanks. Additionally, Venezuelans often have to carry bags of money due to the severe devaluation of their local currency. The bolivar has lost tremendous value against the USD and euro. For example, one USD is worth about 35 times the official exchange rate of the bolivar. The Venezuelan government has repeatedly removed zeros from the currency in an attempt to reduce the paper crisis, but inflation continues to spiral out of control. Right now, even the Syrian pound is worth more than the bolivar. Just imagine relying on the outside world for all your basic needs while your own currency can't buy the essentials. Before we dive into Venezuela's economic struggles, let's take a moment to appreciate what this country does have to offer. Venezuela doesn't require visas for most countries for stays under 90 days. The local people are friendly, and racial discrimination is not a major issue. However, tourists are still advised to stay cautious and protect their belongings. The natural scenery is breathtaking, most notably Angel Falls, the world's tallest waterfall at nearly 1,000 meters, which attracts adventurous travelers. But reaching the falls is quite difficult and expensive. To get a close view, you'll need to take a helicopter. Travel companies often make the experience more thrilling by flying over treacherous rocky ranges on the way. Angel Falls was discovered by James Angel in 1933 and was named after him. Even though Venezuela's nature is well preserved, locals typically can't afford to see it from a helicopter. With most industries shut down, there are very few activities that bring excitement or help people forget the struggles of daily life. Many choose to travel to Colombia in search of fun and entertainment. When you look at the faces of the people in Caracas, Venezuela's capital, it's easy to sense sadness and hopelessness. The streets lack energy and vibrancy. Low spending power and limited job opportunities make life even harder. Roads, infrastructure, and even people all seem to be deteriorating. Many live in a cycle of waking up, going to work, and coming home to sleep. Others turn to crime, hoping it might be their ticket out of the country. However, in the southern part of Venezuela, deep within the Amazon rainforest, life is entirely different. Here, some indigenous tribes live completely cut off from the modern world. They are untouched by inflation or economic collapse. These tribes live deep in the jungle, and reject modern societal rules. Some reports even claim they practice cannibalism. These groups are highly reclusive and often unwelcoming to outsiders. They are considered among the most isolated communities in the world, known for their wild lifestyle and internal conflicts. Due to the extreme difficulty in accessing foreign currency, the government resorted to printing more money to buy goods from abroad, triggering runaway inflation. For example, a block of cheese can cost up to $25. Recent estimates suggest inflation in Venezuela has reached 10,000%. Imagine living in a country rich in oil, but that oil is essentially worthless due to sanctions and an inability to export it globally. In fact, most of the crude oil isn't even refined, forcing Venezuela to import processed oil from Iran in exchange for raw crude. Iran has gained massively from this deal. They provide 1 billion barrels of refined oil and receive even more unprocessed crude in return, generating enormous profits. This kind of wealth, locked away and inaccessible, has devastating effects on the people. For example, Venezuela's ATM withdrawal limit is only $3 USD per week. In comparison, Lebanon, another struggling economy, allows $100 per week. This stark difference has eroded public trust in the local banking system. As a result, people returning from abroad often bring back as many US dollars as they can, even if they have internationally accepted cards. ATMs in Venezuela often run out of cash, and the problem doesn't stop there. For instance, if you buy something for $3 and hand over a $10 bill, very few stores can give you $7 in change because they simply don't have small denominations. This makes the economy extremely inefficient, to the point where even tourists can't spend their money easily. Now imagine you're a Venezuelan going out to dinner with your family. The bill comes to $100. Because of financial restrictions, people have limited access to local currency, and credit cards often don't work. To cope, both the restaurant owner and the customer have US bank accounts. The customer transfers money directly from their American account to the restaurant's account using their phone. As a result, many Venezuelan families maintain bank accounts in the US. However, this offers no benefit to the Venezuelan government, as people no longer want to deposit money in domestic banks. Ironically, the minimum monthly wage in Venezuela is 130 bolivars, about $5, which is nowhere near enough to live on for a month. In response, the government sometimes runs media campaigns, provides free transportation, and even distributes food and fuel at certain gas stations. The average income used to be around $45 per month and has recently risen to about $70. Still, Venezuelans are demanding the minimum wage be raised to at least $500 to meet the cost of living, a request that seems nearly impossible. Many citizens have chosen to leave the country for Colombia, which, while not perfect, is far more stable and less chaotic, something Venezuela currently lacks. Not long ago, Venezuela was one of the most advanced and prosperous nations in the region, leading Latin America. Many immigrants from the Middle East, such as Lebanon and Syria, came here in search of a better life and built strong communities. However, things changed drastically after a shift in power. The wealthy, constantly threatened by the potential uprising of the poor, took their assets and fled the country. As a result, if you visit Venezuela today, you'll no longer see many famous brands. They've all vanished. For example, McDonald's still exists, but operates under a different name after a local company bought the rights. Because potatoes are too expensive, instead of serving French fries, they offer a fried dough dish called yuca. The withdrawal of the private sector and wealthy citizens led to serious challenges for the country and inadvertently triggered its decline. When Hugo Chavez died, he left behind a country where people rummaged through garbage for food. Nicolás Maduro rose to power, but his leadership couldn't stop Venezuela's downward spiral. Venezuela's economy transitioned from production-based to heavily dependent on oil. Under Hugo Chavez, many companies were forced to leave the country as he declared, "If they have brands, Venezuela has oil." Initially, this policy gained support as he focused on wealth redistribution, taking from the rich to help the poor. Since the majority of the population was poor, Chavez received strong support and won every election. The country's only hope lies in its oil reserves. Yet Venezuela can't even meet its own electricity needs, leading to massive blackouts. Transportation was paralyzed, subways shut down, and the country descended into chaos. During this period, many people fell into depression, and recovering from the psychological trauma has been anything but easy. Even today, Venezuela has yet to regain stability. The economic crisis has driven crime rates to unprecedented levels, making Venezuela one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Some areas, like Petare, are known to be extremely dangerous, even scarier than Brazil's infamous favelas. In Petare, located right in the capital, drivers avoid stopping at red lights because most kidnappings and robberies happen when cars are idle. As a result, Venezuelan police don't ticket people for running red lights. In this climate of instability, everyone is looking for a way out of the country. Many years ago, a leader named Simón Bolívar liberated Venezuela. Ecuador and Colombia were once unified under Spanish rule as part of an entity called Gran Colombia, which eventually led to the region's independence. Today, Latin American countries are actively searching for economic solutions. The government is trying to reach and assist those who leave isolated tribes, but reintegrating older individuals into society is extremely difficult. People from these tribes are often recognized by their darker skin tone, a clear difference from urban dwellers. Those who leave tribal life usually do not speak fluent Spanish, having grown up in a secluded environment. Venezuela desperately needs comprehensive economic reform to move forward. The country must attract foreign investment and create sources of foreign currency. Without these changes, Venezuela will continue to struggle to utilize its oil reserves or develop its tourism industry, remaining a land of stunning beauty, forever trapped between great potential wealth and harsh poverty. That wraps up this video. See you again in the next one.